Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Samantha Saget Hauser, but you can call me just Sam. I'm really honored to be here tonight. And what I'm going to do today is I'm gonna take you through like 30 seconds of my story because I think it's always weird when people get on calls like this. I'm like, who the heck is this person and why the heck should she be speaking to me type thing. And then I'm going to go through the science behind not only our equine and our pet collagen that's currently #1 in the world. We're in 34 countries right now. But I also want to take you guys through the human collagen because I am a human physician by trade. And I've been riding horses. You guys can see me in my little chubby face here over on the left-hand side of your screen. That was my horse Pumpkin when I was back in the day. And you guys can see that I've kind of been riding for 31 years. I also have two mega awesome professionals on this call from the equestrian industry and also the dog industry that, of course, also rides because I think when you have a horse, you have a dog. When you have a dog, you have a horse. It's kind of a thing. So you're going to hear a couple stories. And my heart to yours, stories are what really make an impact here. You're going to hear facts about the products, but stories are what's most important for me. And I think what's most important to you guys. So who am I? I'm a doctor of chiropractic, doctor of osteopathic by trade for humans. And I did have a goal to go through veterinarian school after chiropractic school for humans to go for horses. I went through about half that program because this opportunity found me while I was in school becoming a doctor simply for two reasons. One, to help me pay off some student loan debt. And two, because I really wanted a product that was going to help me fuel myself as an athlete, as a rider, as a doctor, something to refer to my patients. And also because I was a huge equestrian and I still am. I compete in the hunter jumpers. Right now I have this cute unicorn over here in the corner. He is 19 years old. And I'll be really honest with you guys, the past 4 years of owning him, he has never had a problem. And I don't know if it's because I've been loading the doses of collagen every single day since the beginning, but I'm going to tell you a secret. About 3 months ago, I got lazy with the collagen. I thought, okay, he's so good. He only needs injections once a year. We're jumping 3 foot 3 days a week. Then I thought, why do I need to continue to buy this? I feel like it's loaded in his system. Well, 3 months later, which happened about 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now, his right front just kept coming up lame. And guys, when I tell you, the vet goes, oh, we just need to inject the fetlock. Let's do it. Oh, we just need to inject the bursa. Let's do it. Now he has Cushing's. So he has to be on ProStride, which is the new PRP version for horses where it's not a steroid, right? And sometimes that takes a little bit longer to activate. Sometimes it doesn't even work. But 2 weeks later, still nothing, even in all the injection points after nerve blocking him, figuring out exactly where he needed it. And this is where last week I called Tommy actually, and the vet's ultrasounding his leg. And she basically looked at me and said, I think he's officially ready for retirement. I can't find anything. The next step is sending him for an MRI for soft tissue or a bone scan. And we all know, put in the chat if you're a horse person here that has a horsey right now, that's about an $8,000 to $10,000 situation on top of the $8,000 I just paid for. And then all of a sudden, I got this download from the universe that when's the last time he was on his collagen? So I call my guys up. I'm like, are we still feeding the collagen? He said, Sam, he hasn't been on it for 3 months. I overnighted 2 bottles. You guys would think I have a stock in my house. Now I do because I totally messed that up. Overnighted 2 bottles. And instead of loading the dose, and by the way, take note of this if you're new to this call, you're going to hear in a few minutes, loading the dose of collagen for horses is about once a day, the first 30 days out. I said, do it twice a day. I want to mega load. 48 hours later, my trainer called me and said, I don't know how the hell your horses sound right now. It's a miracle. She's like, what did you do? She's like, let's put him on full work and just see, not jump him yet, full work, see where he's at tomorrow. Better the next day. Better the next day. Today, I jumped my horse, Cavaletti's, and he felt better than he has felt in years. I've never extra loaded it before. This was 2 times a day. And I've learned my lesson that my precious unicorn will never come off of this product, even if he's feeling great. It's a preventative product that you're about to hear about. So what is this? So let's start with the human version because at the end of the day, we're humans. And I don't know if anyone is on this call that's a vet. If you're a vet, put in the chat vet so we know that we have really highly intelligent animal science people on this call. But for me, I think it's really important to understand how it works for you. And let's pull up a chair and be real on this one. When we don't feel good, sometimes we affect our horses not feeling good, right? When we have aches and pains and we can't ride as well, it transfers to the horses and vice versa. We're one unit, we're a team. So what is this liquid BioCell? A biological cell that's rejuvenating in the body. So you're looking at the number one liquid collagen in the world. We were developed in 2008. We were first to the conversation. We have 7 different patents on all of our products internationally and nationally. For humans, you'll drink it. It's liquid. For horsies, we top dress it. For dogs and cats, you'll see that you can put it in their mouth or put it on their food, up to you, but everything's a liquid version. So it absorbs under the tongue in your sublingual area. That's what it's called. Now, the reason why we're so special, everyone, is because we're a bioidentical super nutraceutical. What does this mean? We are the exact mirror image of human, horse, dog, and cat collagen cells. Now, let me pause there. Fun fact. Horses, humans, dogs, and cats have the same exact molecular makeup of collagen. So if we can do it for humans, we can do it for horses. We just have to raise the clinical strength. And you'll see that in that formula in a couple of slides. So what is our formula made of and why is it so powerful? It's a collagen type 2 cell. It's a hyaluronic acid and it's a chondroitin sulfate with some extra glycoproteins. So let me take you through human anatomy, then we'll get to the horse anatomy. I'm going to be quick with this just so you understand a little bit of the similarities. So when we're born with an abundant amount of collagen. Same with our animals. It's literally how our fetus is made. Collagen is the building blocks of muscles, bones, skin cells, skin elasticity. That's important to humans. Not so important to our horses. We don't care about wrinkles for them, but skin elasticity for wound healing is really big, right? We want the wounds to come back together. How about surgeries? How about the building block of hair and coats, nails, hooves? It's the building block of eye health. It's the building block of cardiovascular health. It's the building block of digestion and digestive health. All of those things are muscles. That's what regulates our body. Well, after the age of 20, we actually stop making collagen. Now, in horse life, that's around the age of 8 to 10, depending on how much work they're under, right? How much stress-induced activities they're under. But on top of that, after the age of 26 for humans, we start to lose collagen and something called hyaluronic acid every single year. And this is where the aging process comes in. We get aches and pains, we get wrinkles, we get dryness of skin, we get hair loss, we get digestive issues, we get autoimmune diseases, we have cardiovascular issues, we don't recover as well. And you're like, well, yeah, it sucks getting old, right? What if you could put something in your body and your horse's body that actually slow down the aging process? So I'm going to go through hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate for humans, but with the horse side, because I think it's going to make more sense as we're riding these animals and you're like, man, I just want him to live and her to live forever and just feel good and look good and perform better. Well, collagen, you just heard, is the building blocks of all of these things. Think about the tendons and the ligaments. What if you could make them as strong as steel? So instead of them getting worn and torn all the time as you're jumping or you're doing dressage or barrels or just even trail riding, they start to get worn out and old and brittle because they're losing collagen, right? Well, now let's put hyaluronic acid into a picture here. Hyaluronic acid, a big part of our matrix, is one, hyaluronic acid controls the influx of collagen. So the more HA, the more collagen you and your horse is going to have. The less HA, the less collagen. So I just want you to note on bullet 2 that just after 28 days, our product, after clinically loaded, increases the hyaluronic acid production in you, your horses, your doggies at literally 6,000%. You heard that right. So if you're someone on here who likes to take care of your skin, that's a natural anti-aging filler. But let's talk about our horses and our personal bodies. Hyaluronic acid adds this movement, this mobility, this lubrication to your joints, to your ligaments, to literally your flexibility. Think about your horse movement in the shoulder, right? Right now, my horse was really lame in his right front. We're like, is it the fetlock? Is it his foot? Or is it his shoulder? He looked like he was kind of stiff in his shoulder a week after injections. Well, loading this hyaluronic acid twice a day, you can now see that he's probably increasing it by 3,000, 4,000, 6,000%, which gives him more movement and flexibility. Also, HA adds a lot of great components to their skin and their coat health. It takes the dryness out. It puts the shine back in. It helps with eye health. It helps with lubrication of the gut tract, which is something you're probably going to hear on this call tonight with some stories of just ulcers being bye-bye or preventative, and just sour stomachs feeling a lot better because the lubrication going on. Something I also want you guys to note before we go into some stories is chondroitin sulfate is probably a molecule you've heard about if you're in the animal space. Chondroitin sulfate takes the inflammatory response out, while hyaluronic acid adds the lubrication and movement and mobility back in. Think about the wear and tear on those ligaments and now being lubricated to bend and flex like a rubber band versus snapping like a stick. And then collagen adds all the cellular rejuvenation back into all of those components you see on the screen and you heard me talk about a few minutes ago. I mean, literally you have anti-aging in a bottle. We are literally fueling racehorses right now. The last time one of our racehorses, because we're a little low on that end. So if you have any connections to the racehorse world, we'd love that. But we did win the Breeders' Cup in 2014. Our equine product has been around since 2011. You're probably thinking, how did I not know about this before? Because we are a word of mouth company, a boutique company that wants to get the right people, the right horses, and the right science information out to people mouth to mouth, kind of like a Zoom call like this. So a couple real life stories that we've had in our clinicals. You can see this quarter crack 2 weeks later. Holy moly. Anyone on this call have issues with feet? I mean, that's a big situation in the horse world, right? We know if our horse's feet and the human world, the kinetic chain, if the feet have issues, everything else above the feet will not work properly. This is a horse in the middle that came off of every single supplement, including like Shoshin. And this is just about 30 days later of them just on the product. And then you can see on the far right as well, about 10 weeks. I do want you guys to understand how amazing this product is for wound healing or prevention. And so when you're loading this into the bloodstream, what happens is if a horse has an injury, they're going to heal a lot quicker. I'm not saying they're not going to get injured, but they're going to heal a lot quicker. You can see on the far left, this is actually a vet that took a picture of this. A horse, sadly was not cared for, was neglected in a stall. And this December 13th, they pulled the blanket off. December 27th, all they did for 2 weeks was load the dose of collagen. This horse was never on collagen before. This horse is one of my friends, Hunter Jumpers. Barn. She's a trainer, and has a lot of nice show horses, and they leased this horse for several years. And when they found out about the collagen, they're like, can they take the sarcoids away? Boom. 5 weeks later. And the vet's like, how did this even happen when you've had this horse for years? And then on the far right, this horse was already loaded on collagen, and you can see 30 days later, and it's like nothing has ever happened. So something that I want to show you guys is actually a video right here. However, I think I need to be the host again because I need to be able to give you guys audio sound. So let me I always forget to do this. I want to make sure you guys can hear the sound. So let me just confirm that you guys can hear the sound or not. Share sound. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to be watching someone's face in the video, Tommy. So let me just see if you guys can hear this. This is one of our professional riders who also has his whole entire barn, including his own personal horses on product. Some of you may have heard of him before. Ryan Sassmanhausen, he's awesome. And this is one of his testimonials that he recorded for us.
Babar is one of my main horses. He's shown in the Grand Prix level up to 150. He's a 10-year-old warm blood that I've had since he was 3 years old, so we've been partnered for 7 years. He's a great horse who shows tons of scope. He's got a huge step. He's very careful and very smart. I recently implemented liquid BioCell into his diet to help give him a little boost, build muscle, get a nice shine, good condition, help him train. And so far the results have been great. You can see his muscle development's awesome, his hair looks great, he's very conditioned, very strong. His foot prior to the BioCell has been a mess. He has a quarter crack that's been plaguing him for years. We've even had to cut off part of his foot just to see if it would grow back normal. It didn't, but after 3 months on liquid BioCell, it's starting to grow back nice. You can see the quarter cracks growing down well. The foot itself is getting harder and holding better. We don't have to patch it anymore. It's done really, really well and holding up during competition because we've been sidelined for a year. So it's nice to finally be back jumping big tracks again and not just flatting around the ring. So I attribute that all to liquid BioCell. Thank you, liquid BioCell.
What's really fun about Ryan's story is this horse was sidelined for a year before we met him and we got the collagen into his body. And now he hasn't missed a beat. Like he hasn't been lame or off track since the second he's been on this product. And I think it's been over a year now that he's been competing back to back and in all the Grand Prix. And actually, speaking of Ryan, he is in the Chicago area. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring on, I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen for a second so you can hear her story, but I'm going to bring on a well-renowned trainer who's been in the hunter jumper world as a professional trainer and rider for the last 30 years in the Chicago area. And Rhonda, if you are here, which you are, and I see you unmuted, we would love for you to come on. And then Tommy, if you can pass the host back to me so I can just make sure that she's pinned and people can see her. Go ahead, Rhonda.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Arza. Nice to meet everybody. Yes, I've been using the BioCell product on our horses and on my personal horses that are retired, as well as the horses in our program for the last year and a few months, 6 months now, I guess it is, a year and a half. Yeah, and it's been an incredible product. I think the biggest piece for me has not only been what it does for the joints, and I can tell you firsthand, I'm almost 60 years old. I have terrible knees from riding. The product for myself personally has been off the chain. I have no knee pain. I am feeling like I did, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. And I attribute that to the fact that my knees have that hyaluronic acid piece that really made a difference. I thought, my gosh, if this is what this is doing for me, imagine what it's doing for the horses and for the older horses especially. And the show horses that are just pounded on, of course. And then, of course, we have the travel and all the things that horses go through. And just knowing that this helps their gut health so much. And when you have a horse that has a shiny coat, generally speaking, that's because their gut health is on point. And so the fact that this product creates such a beautiful shine on these horses and helps with leaky gut and things like that, which is what causes ulcers, I think this is a no-brainer for people who have horses traveling and working all the time. You've got so many things that you can use it for, and you can literally eliminate all the powders and all the other things. And I make it simple. I have many barns who are using this product exclusively. Their trainers use it, and the trainers get a kickback for using the product on all their clients, which is really wonderful for them. And they put their horses on the product, and they just carry one bottle with them to the horse shows. Each horse gets their dose at night, and it's not testable. And that makes it nice because now you don't have to give bute, Banamine. You don't have to worry about going a little over in Equiox because none of the horses need to be on that anymore. So you're not giving NSAIDs, which are really hard on their stomachs. Also eliminates the need to give them GastroGuard, which saves so much money. You can use Adequan and Legend and all those other products as well if you'd like in conjunction with this. And you can certainly use as many supplements as you want. But what I found is that we don't really need those things anymore. And the beauty of this is that what it's doing for our horses in our program is it's stretching out the time between injections, which is really key because over time, it's really saving clients money and it's saving the horses from having invasive procedures, like Prostride all the time. I mean, yeah, we still do those things, but not nearly as often. We had horses that were doing it 4 times a year, now they're doing it maybe twice at the most, but mostly we're going 9 months between times and sometimes up to a year to inject these horses. And generally speaking, that's unheard of in our industry. Our vet is there every week at the farm I'm at working on some horses, and she's not doing as much work on our horses that are on BioCell. So, I think it's important to note that, this is really going to help people and help your pocketbooks, but you're also not having to inject so much, and you're helping their gut health, which is so key to their behavior. One of the things that you'll note immediately when your horse starts on this is their behavior changes. You don't have any more mare tendencies. I find that they're just a lot less squirrely and worried about, mounting and dismounting. They stand at the mounting block. Lots of different things show up. No ears back when you put your leg on because their gut doesn't bother them. Horses tell us when they're in pain. They tell us when they're having issues. They're not just opinionated. They have opinions because things hurt. And I think when you put a horse on liquid BioCell and you see such a huge behavioral change, it makes you understand that this is a complete systemic situation that you're able to help alleviate and fix. And I'm seeing that time and time and time again. And not to mention what it does for their feet. If you've got horses with difficulty, any kind of cracks like what we talked about earlier, what Ryan experienced, it's just, they're gone. So, and the other thing is soft tissue injury. If you have horses who have a tendency to get soft tissue injury, remember collagen it creates such a great barrier around those tendons, and a strand of collagen is as strong as a piece of steel. So you're allowing those tendons to sit in such a better place. And so we're not seeing those kinds of injuries in our horses at all. So I haven't had any soft tissue injuries in my barn since using liquid BioCell, knock on wood. But that's a big thing to say when you have hunter jumpers who are constantly jumping and working. So that's really what I have to say on the product, and I can't say enough good things. And I think it should be in every barn across the nation, because it is a product that people can count on. And I'm not a huge supplement person. I think that we waste a lot of money on powders and things like that. But this product will eliminate all of that from your tack room, and it's a one-stop shop, which makes such a big difference in all the things that we do.
You heard it from the best. I mean, she works with 40 plus horses a day, and she's all over the place. And she's been here for 30 years in the industry. Something that I just want to add, like as a more holistic for humans, and I know a lot of us are going that way of more for horses. It's nice to not always have them on a steroid, right? Like there's so many things that we do in our animals right now that is steroid related because it's a quick fix, but then it's a long-term issue for something else, like the gut flora, like the gut health. So adding something back in that doesn't take away from that and also heals it, but it's a natural molecule that your horse can produce. Rhonda just hit the nail on the head. It's like a one-stop shop for so many things. And here's the truth. You can't go wrong with it. Like worst thing happens, like your horse just gets shinier and gets a little healthier. It doesn't go backwards, right? There's barely anything in the product. It's so natural that unless your horse is allergic to a little bit of molasses and doesn't get a treat, that's the only thing that can really go wrong there. And we'll talk to you about it. I see there's some questions in the chat, and don't worry, we'll get back with you either one-on-one or we'll answer those questions a little bit later. But what I want to do next, and we're almost finished here, but there's something special about having a dog. And so put it in the chat if you are a horse person that has a dog, because I have too many dogs. I just think they kind of come with the environment, right? So I'm not going to go through this all again, but if it does all those things for the humans, it does all those things for the horses, what do you think it does for your dogs? Now, me personally, I have a miniature Bernedoodle that has the worst skin issues ever. He's allergic to everything under the sun and itches his little paws off. When he comes off of the collagen, if we're traveling, it comes back. But when he's on the collagen, he has no issues. He's a fluffy little head, so it also helps with his little curls. But my Belgian Malabar dog has two torn and fixed ACLs, and she's 13. And when she's not on the collagen, she actually can't get up on her hind end. So I don't have videos of her, but what I do have is I have a video of Buddy. We did a clinical study on Buddy the dog, and the best part about animals is they can't lie to you. I can sit here and I can fib all day long, but you can tell Buddy is hurting before collagen. It took him a minute to get up the stairs. I mean, he got up there, but if you watch this video one more time, it's just kind of taking him a minute here, and he's hurting definitely in his hind end, right? There's not that much movement. Well, you better keep your eyes on the camera pretty quick here, folks, because on the right side, you're going to see Buddy fly up the stairs. You probably already missed it because he went so quick. I'm going to go backwards again. And Buddy's flying up the stairs. And this is just a couple of months of him on the collagen. How cool is that? Do you have an animal right now where you're like, man, I wish they could just tell me what's wrong. Something is up. Something is not going right. Well, I have no one better than, we call her Tammy the Tornado, because she just crushes life, to talk to us with her story. But she is a professional stock dog trainer with 2 reserve national championships and is currently qualified for some of the biggest national championships in 2024 for Canada and the US. She specializes in raising and training young dogs for the sport. So Tammy, can you come on here, and I'm going to pin your lovely spotlight so people can hear your story about this.
Yeah, happy to be here.
You're good.
My name's Tammy Yost Wilden. I live in Joliet, Montana, and I was a professional horse trainer for 34 years. And after COVID, shifted into the stock dogs after I kind of retired from running a show string. But before I stopped taking outside horses, I had some pretty severe injuries, kicked in the face by a horse, facial reconstruction, fractured 2 vertebrae in my neck, dislocated both shoulders, reconstructed knee. The list goes on and on. So I was pretty broken. So lovely Rhonda actually convinced me to try the product. And I had developed severe tendonitis in my wrists and elbows. And in 3 weeks, my tendonitis pain was gone, and I'd been fighting it for 2.5 years. So, of course, the first thing I did is put Benjamin, my retired 2-time national nursery champion, on it. He has severe back arthritis and was really struggling with that. And in 6 weeks, he no longer needed assistance to get up and down our stairs, and actually went back to light work doing set out with the sheep. And he hadn't been able to do that for almost a year. You don't turn old dogs around like that. It blew my mind. So my old eventing stallion had a stifle injury, 60 days on that, and he was moving like he was 10, back to riding him at 22 years old. So like Dr. Sam said, you know, you can't have a placebo effect with animals. And we can all relate to having an injured animal that then we say, gee, we need to do something about this. But I'm going to tell you something. I am passionate about supporting healthy tissue in young animals that are developed for sport, or even just your pet. Because as they start to break down tissue from exercise, or they take a header in the ditch, run into the, whatever they do, right? They do crazy things, chasing frisbees. My dogs are under a lot of pressure from training. You know, I start my pups at 6 or 7 months old, and as soon, 1 day a week at that point. But as soon as they come into training on stock, they go on liquid BioCell. And one of the first dogs that I put on it, I recently just sold to Texas. And when they got that dog down there, of course, he'd been on it since he was 6 months old. And they said, we have never seen a dog this black. Like, they're border collies. They're black and white. And I'm like, well, he's a border collie, right? They're like, no, you don't understand. Like, we have other dogs we thought had shiny coats, but this dog is like midnight black. And it really does. I constantly get comments at shows of the condition of my dog's coats. But most importantly to me, it's supporting that soft tissue before, during, and after for recovery after I compete. So the week leading up to a show, my dogs go on a double dose of liquid BioCell. They stay on that during the show, and I continue it for a week after the show. After that, they can go back on maintenance. But I believe it's making a huge difference in the recovery of my animals. So one of my nursery dogs, we've been on the road the last 3 weeks to some big shows showing in 95 and 98-degree heat. I don't know what the heat index was in Utah, but it was pretty humid. And I was worried about my Daisy dog there because we had to run in the heat of the day. I could not believe how she recovered. Same thing this last weekend at a trial, super hot, and they get up the next day and they're ready to rock and roll. So I'm noticing a huge difference in recovery on the animals that I have on the BioCell. So rather than wait until there's an injury, how about let's support that healthy tissue ahead of time? And yeah, that's how I use it in my stock dog program.
I love it. Thanks, Tammy, and thanks, Rhonda, for being here tonight and sharing. I mean, she's completely correct. Why wait until something happens and try to fix it? Just prevent it, right? I mean, if we did that with all of ourselves and all of our animals, the world would be a better place. So that is tonight, guys. And here's what I want you to do next. We have a huge sale coming up this weekend with some of the collagens. Anyone who invited you to this call, whether they're on this call with you or sent you this link, they actually have a friends and family discount to share with you. So you can get a nice kickback, not only a discount, but a kickback, free shipping, all the things. We want to take care of you because you showed up on this call or you're listening to this recording. So just make sure you get back to the person who invited you here and they will take care of you. Thank you so much for tonight. And we can't wait to hear your results on the #1 collagen in the world for you and your best friend. Bye-bye.